salutations. My name's Ethan. This is, of course, Thousand Monkeys Production presents the Gamers Haven podcast. This is one of our actual play videos that we're going to be putting out. Today I am doing a solo run-through of Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core, Mission 1, Newt. Now, this does have the expansions added to it. However, I'm only really utilizing the base game plus the Ultimate Badasses expansion. So there's no real big change as far as rules, or any big changes as far as what character abilities or anything like that there are. I've actually decided to play with 2 heroes and then 4 grunts. So in the context of the game, when you decide to play, you can play with up to 4 heroes. And then with the expansion, an additional 4 grunts, so you can have a total of about 8 characters. This is our cat Drake, who is actually named after one of the characters from this movie. In fact, a character that is currently on the board, Drake, right here. We also have our dog Ripley, lounging on the sofa in the back, named after, of course, Ellen Ripley. Our other cat, we have an orange cat named Newt, who is around somewhere, but he's off hiding. And there's a little white dog running around. There's the orange cat right over there. You can't see him. We have a white dog running around. His name is Zeus, only because I couldn't convince people that I could name him Hudson. So, you know. Regardless, Aliens, I think, is one of the greatest films of all time. I greatly enjoy that film. And when Gale Force 9 announced this game several years ago, I was very excited for it, bought all the expansions for it, bought the game, because who doesn't love being a colonial marine and killing aliens? And that's what this game is. Now, there was an Aliens game back in the late 80s, early 90s from, I believe it was Leading Edge Games, and it's very out of print, very hard to find, very collector's item. I used to own a copy, I don't anymore. I've played it several times. It was an incredibly difficult game. I don't think I know anyone who actually beat the thing, but it was very similar in that you had missions, you had your Marines, you had aliens coming after you, and you played certain missions and whatnot. This game does have a campaign mode. I'm not planning on sort of following that campaign mode per se. I actually played this mission through last night and recorded it, but I got a ton of stuff wrong when I was playing it. I still had a great time. It took me about 2.5, 3 hours to muddle my way through it because it's been so long. I have played this before many years ago, so some of it's just still kind of refreshing in my brain. I have printed out from my 3D printing. I have printed out some new dice because the dice that came with the game are kind of boring. So I've actually got a D6 that's meant for the Alien role-playing game here. Plus, I created some new D10s for the Marine die. That's just not a standard one. Where the 10 is a set of alien jaws, and the 1 is the Colonial Marines insignia. So I know you can't really see it. These dice are unpainted. They're just printed in translucent red resin. I had some other things I was going to print up for this, but my filament printer belt broke on it today. So you'll also notice that I'm using different models for aliens in this. Now, there are miniatures that come with this game. Sort of one of the big things about it is you have to assemble all of the miniatures for this game. They all come on sprues, so it's if you've played Warhammer 40K, War Machine, any of those, that's second nature. It's, okay, cool, I got that, I got the snippers out, did all that. But to any kind of a lay person who's not into that kind of strategic wargaming or sort of the harder core miniature stuff, it's kind of honestly, I think it's kind of a turnoff to some people. The Space Marine minis are just fine. If you are into 3D printing, my mini factory has a lot of Space Marines you can actually print out that are these characters with the serial numbers filed off. That are really cool, really nice miniatures. I'll see if I can find the link to the place that I looked at. I don't have any of them printed out and painted up at this time. Although I intend to get a better version of Hicks, a better version of Ripley and Bone and all those guys. The xenomorphs that come with the game are a pain in the butt to put together. The tails are a pain to put on. It's they're very pointy, and I've noticed that when there's a small amount of the xenomorphs on the table, it's not really that big of an issue. But when you start getting swarms of them and they start getting more packed in tightly, which can happen at certain points in the game, say if you're standing here, this door is open and aliens spawn off this point and this point and that point. So anyway, the miniature xenomorphs that come with the game are, again, I said they're kind of a pain to put together. They look great, they're fine, they're easy to paint. I mean, you paint them black and then you put some white on their teeth and pretty much you're done. But when they get all bunched up and when they're spawning in spaces next to each other and stuff like that, it can get kind of annoying because of all their little pointy bits and all their tails and their hands and their claws and stuff like that. You have the habit of you grab one and it drags the other ones with it, and so that gets a little irritating. After a bit, they look really cool, whatnot. But I've printed out these xenomorph figures that are actually just like two-dimensional silhouettes of a xenomorph. Let's see if you can see that in some fashion. I'll put it up against my giant white forehead. But they're thin, and I just painted them black. So they're very basic, but it might take a little bit away from the theme of the game. I don't think so. But if you have, again, if you go to my mini factory, there's tons of xenomorph miniatures on there people have designed that you can get. I will say I wish that the miniatures in this were of the quality of the Alien versus Predator: The Hunt Begins game from many, many years ago. I can't even remember the Prodigy or some. I can't remember the name of the company who did it. But the miniatures in that were spectacular. The Predators, the Colonial Marines, the Aliens, they were all really nice. Really very well done. I believe they were resin minis. They were very, very well done. Very, very well done. These are definitely not up to that scale. Definitely not up to that quality. But anyway, I've got the game set up here. My cat, Drake, has come through and made a mess of a few things, so I have to adjust here. I am currently playing with 3 hero characters. Actually, I forgot I changed up things. I actually have Corporal Dwayne Hicks, Ellen Ripley, and Sergeant Al Apone, with my grunts Drake, Vasquez, and Hudson. And actually, I think what I'm going to end up doing, because I really only want to play with 2 heroes, is I'm actually going to be using the non-hero, the grunt version of Ripley in here. So I'm only going to be playing with Sergeant Apone and Corporal Dwayne Hicks. The reason I'm doing that is because your rank helps determine how many grunts you can activate in a turn, and that became a bit of a problem yesterday when I was just playing with Corporal Hicks as my main guy. He's my favorite character from the movies. Ripley is awesome. Ripley is badass, and I love her. Obviously, we named our dog after her. But their rank determines how many grunts they can activate during their turn, and he's a corporal, so he has a little 2 up there, meaning he can activate 2 grunts. Sergeant Apone also can activate 2 grunts. I think the only one that can activate more would be Lieutenant Gorman. I think he can activate 3, but I wanted to play with a couple of the base guys. Last night I tried to play also with Bishop, and that got kind of confusing. I had cards from the expansion involved that just weren't working well. So anyway, we are playing the first mission, Newt, where our mission goal is to win this mission. You need to locate and recover Newt and then escape the board with her alive. In this mission, Newt is not a part of your squad. Instead, her token and 3 other mission blip tokens are flipped face down, shuffled, and placed where indicated on the board. That's these 4 little dots right here. Models can exit the board here on this from that door at the extraction point after Newt has been recovered. Now there's a computer over there. I got the little miniature computer. The token indicates a computer that characters can interact with on the board. A character in a space next to a computer token may take an interact action and perform a tech test. If they pass, they may look at any one face-down blip token. So one of my options that I can do is go in there and start flipping those blips to see what they are. My other option is to actually just go in that room and look at them. There are 2 enemy blips over here that will start moving at the end of the first turn. So it is a, it could be dangerous. One thing I can say from the few other times I've played this game is it can get out of hand real quick if you're not careful. You can be going okay, thinking I'm cool, everything's going to be okay, and then a bad round of motion tracker cards, and you are swimming in aliens, and you have to kind of strategically think of, do I stand and fight or do I run away? Things you can do in this game to help sort of mitigate that is barricade doors, barricade spawn points. You can try to position your people strategically so when aliens pop out, they get defensive shots at them. There's a lot you can kind of think about when it comes to this game. The mission ends in failure if Newt dies at any point, obviously. Once all surviving characters and Newt move on to the exit, the mission ends. If Newt and 2 or more other characters survive, the mission is successful. Otherwise, the mission ends in failure. We have, I've set up the motion tracker deck. It has you take 5 level 1, 5 level 2 cards, shuffle them together, and put them on top of the deck after shuffling the rest of the deck. Now I will point out these are your motion tracker cards. They actually have 3 different backs to them. So they have one with 2 dots on it. That's a level 1 card. They have one with these 6 dots on it. That's a level 2 card. And then they have one with a whole mess of dots on it, and that's a level 3 card. I don't think that's explicitly stated anywhere in the rules, and some of the other videos online aren't entirely clear on that. And I do kind of wish. I think the graphic design is cool. It's a nice touch. You can look at the motion tracker cards that are coming up, and whatever's on the top, you can tell that's okay. That's going to be a level 2, or that's a level 3, that's a level 1. I mean, there's a big danger thing there, and sort of makes you think of abilities you might be able to use to get rid of that card, or stop something from happening, that sort of thing, or to get ready. But I do wish they maybe would print like a number up there would be great, or something like that would be something a bit more that differentiates. Or put it in the rulebook, quite frankly. The rulebook is okay. I will point out that they put this game out in 2020. I think it was 2020. And then they reissued it in 2023. And they revised the rules a little bit. Now, this is the original edition, but I have looked at the errata, looked at the FAQ. I've got all my paperwork and stuff like that sort of tells me the differences. Not a whole lot of differences. Some for balance, some for efficiency of play. Probably one of the biggest changes is aliens break through a barricade when they roll a 6-sided. They roll a 6-sided die to break through a barricade. If they in the first version of the game they break through on a 4, 5, or 6. In the new rules, they errated that to only a 5 and a 6. So it's much harder it's a little harder for them to break through barricades or break through spawn points. So that is what we go. Now, this mission has a special rule that we don't draw any motion tracker cards until turn 3. So for the first 2 turns, we don't get any additional blips. That's helpful. If you succeed on this mission, we can continue to the next mission, all that stuff, all good. The other side of this this has a map, sort of a layout of the boards that you're using and where all of the tokens are that you're using, plus sort of a key as far as setup. We're going to go ahead and hop into it. All right, and you'll notice I have this piece of paper as a quick reference that I'm looking at, something I found on Board Game Geek. Found out they're online. Great site for finding little helpful little play aids, that sort of thing. And this has the updated Marine phase, Alien phase, and Finish phase, although this says the Alien A's. So, you know, proofreading is hard. Sort of the only kind of differences in the original version, the Marines had to do 7 things during their turn. Now it's only 6. The first step was to reset their aim dial. Their aim dial is this thing. It can get affected by various things that you can do, and this is the number that you have to roll this or less on a D10 in order to succeed with an attack, with a ranged attack, any kind of thing like that. In the original rules, it had you at the start of a character's activation, you'd reset his dial back to its default. Now it just has you before anyone goes. You reset everybody's at the start of that phase. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. All the aim dials are at their default locations. We'll resolve all on activation abilities, which Dwayne Hicks has here. He has an on activation. You may draw an endurance card. I am not going to do that because this is your endurance deck. If you actually run out of cards on this, you lose the game automatically. So I don't really need to draw an endurance card. Endurance cards can be equipment, can be weapons, it can be events, and it can be hazards. So some bad things can happen from that as well. I'm not going to really risk it at this moment. There's different methods of basically of the cards. They can be exhausted, which means you just take the top one and put it next to it face down. There's discard, which usually is if you're using a card that's in your hand. If you have any, it goes in the discard pile, or the card will say. You can recycle cards from the exhaust pile through various means, and those go at the bottom of the deck underneath this reshuffle tile placard thing. There are also ways for cards to go to the bottom of the deck, not under the reshuffle, that sort of thing. But if as long as you have cards, if you run out of endurance cards and get down to that reshuffle, and there are cards underneath it, then you're still good. But if there's nothing underneath there, if you run out of cards in that endurance deck, then you automatically will lose the game. The turn tracker has 6 spots on it, so really their assumption is you're not going to play longer than six turns. There is no specific rule as far as if you make it to turn 6 and still need to continue, you don't automatically lose after 6 turns. There's nothing like that. You just keep going on to turn 7, to turn 8, to turn 9. So they just, I guess, determined that 6 turns is the kind of the par for everybody, as far as as long as it takes to get here. Anyway, we're going to continue on with the phase. Resolve all on activation abilities. Sergeant Apone. So first thing I want to determine is which Marine I'm going to activate. I really am going to go ahead and activate Corporal Hicks. So I'm going to take my token here, put it over with him, so I know I'm working with him. I can equip endurance cards. I don't have any cards to equip. You are allowed to equip your guys from the endurance deck before you actually deploy. But there's a balance between that. You want to make sure you're not taking too much out of the endurance deck, because if you run out of that, you're in trouble. You want to leave some space in case you find certain things. Certain missions have little caches, little crates of stuff that you can go pick up and find stuff, and you're always kind of finding stuff. Like on activation with Hicks's ability is he can draw an endurance card. That can get him equipment, and there's no limit to the amount of equipment you can hold in your hand. As part of your activation in this equip endurance cards, you can swap equipment around. Whoever you're activating, if he's within 2 spaces of another character, he can give equipment to them. They can give equipment to him. Anything like that. So you'll notice my guys do have some stuff. I don't need to move any equipment around at this time, but it is something that is an option. We're on to step 3, which is perform 2 actions. Now the actions you can do in this game are move, attack, barricade, aim, interact, do a card action, or rest. Now, generally you're going to want to move. A lot of times it's move and shoot, or just move twice, or what have you. I've got nothing to shoot at right now, so I'm going to be moving with Corporal Hicks. He has a speed of 4, so each move action he can move up to 4 spaces. It's a good thing to note that if you stand in a space next to a door, adjacent to a door, now not diagonally adjacent, but like directly adjacent to a door, the door opens automatically. Motion sensors, it just, it's like the door at the supermarket. And once you are not standing in a space next to it, the door closes. You can barricade doors, which means they don't open unless somebody wants to break through them, and you have to break through them. Aliens have to break through them, or rolling a d6 if they get a 5 or a 6 on their die. I think I mentioned that. So Corporal Hicks is right here. He's going to move 4 spaces. Obviously, I want to get over here to check these out. Some of these are actual enemies. So I can find Newt right off, or I could find an aliens pop up. So we'll see. I don't want to go too crazy here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and put him here right now. I don't want to get him too far away from everyone else. Actually, give me a moment here. His tech is a 5. I'm going to wait for some of my other people. I think Hudson has the highest tech on a 6. I do have Drake has an arc welder, and he can discard that to automatically barricade something. Barricades are very helpful. This is where Bishop would come in handy because his tech is a 7. So I mean he's pretty good at it. But so my option here is I can move him, or I can have him move over here and try to barricade the door, which is not a bad idea. I'm gonna not do that though. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I did. I'm gonna move him his 8 spaces down to here because we just want to get him moving. Resolve all end of activation abilities. He doesn't have any. Use his rank to activate grunts. So he can activate 2 of the grunts, which is either Ripley or Drake or Vasquez or Hudson. And you activate them, they get 2 actions. They don't have any special abilities. Notice there's grunt side of the card and then the hero side of the card. Heroes are more beefier than grunts. I think it's cool though that gives you this option. You can have a good squad of dudes. With the expansions, I think it's a total of 15 Marines that you can have at your disposal. So, I mean, they pretty much got everyone from the movie. So even some of the obscure characters that you only heard their names of and you could never really picture what they look like. Dietrich, Frost, Grabowski, those guys. So he is going to activate Hudson. So I'm going to sort of move this over just to remind me that I'm working with Hudson here. Now, one thing that might have been nice is if they had like activation or like activated tokens or something like that, or something I can put on the character to remind me, oh hey, he's done his business. So that might be something I'm gonna look into printing up with one of my printers to see if maybe, I'm sure someone has come up with something online for it. But regardless, I'm going to get Hudson. Hudson has a speed of 4. Let's see, I think this is Hudson right here. He's going to move over, and I'm only moving him that 1 space, and that's it. I'm going to go to his second action, which is going to be barricade. I'm going to attempt to barricade, which is a tech roll on the D10. He has a tech level 6, so I need to get a 6 or less on this die. I get a 5. Oh no, that's a 3. Excuse me. I haven't polished these dice yet. Alright, so that's a 3, meaning I have barricaded that door. So I'm going to take the little barricaded icon and a little token and put it right there to let us know, hey, he is there. His turn is done. I can activate one more grunt. I'm going to activate... I want to get Ripley down here because she's the best at calming Newt down. When you first find Newt, she's freaked out, and Newt will run away from you until you can get next to her and calm her down, and Ripley has a better chance of doing that. Ripley's speed is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to move her up to this space because this door will open, and then I'll get a line of sight to whatever's there, and that could be aliens. So that I'm just going to hold her back by one space just to give us a little bit of time to do our thing. I'm playing kind of cautiously, but hey, let's be reckless. Let's see what happens. So I'll move her one space, and that door automatically opens, revealing, all right, a blip of a 1. That means no Newt, but there's an alien there. So I'm going to take this over and immediately spawn an alien there. When you immediately spawn an alien, it doesn't attack, it doesn't do anything, not until the alien phase. She has no actions left, so she can't shoot. If he had any, if I was able to use Hicks or anything, he wouldn't be able to do anything because she's blocking his line of sight, so he can't see the thing. You also have to sort of keep in mind what if you want to use any of their special weapons. Note that characters do have a weapon you can equip that has special abilities, but then they also just have an aim. Their aim value, they can just make a basic attack, which is just rolling the dice. Because a lot of times, like with this M41A pulse rifle, if you want to attack with it, you have to exhaust cards from your endurance to do it, and then that can get costly. But the trade-off is the 41A pulse rifle has full auto, so if you shoot and hit, you can exhaust a card and continue shooting again and again and again until you miss. And yes, you can, if you hose down one group of aliens and you see there's another group that you can see, you can shift your fire over to that one. So it can be very helpful. Smart guns exhaust cards, all that. But I want to preserve those cards. Ripley has no actions left. She's moved twice, so she just opens that, spots an alien. So obviously, she's probably freaking out now. Pass the activation token. Okay, good to know. Passing the activation token over to Sergeant Apone. One thing that I do notice that I didn't do last time was at the very end of all of the Marine phases, the highest ranking player now activates any grunt characters that haven't yet activated, so that's pretty cool. I think to activate a grunt, you have to be able to see them. So I think that was still cool with where Hicks was. So anyway. So Sergeant Apone gets to go. We start off with his on-activation ability, which is draw an endurance card. Then each Marine character may recycle a card from their hand. I don't have any cards to recycle, and I don't really need to draw. So Apone, who's right here, Sarge, is going to... what's his tech? It's a 5. All right. I want to... I want to keep him in this central corridor. His speed is a 4. You also note that your weapons do not have a range unless listed on their card. I believe the only ones that really have a definitive range would be like the flamethrower, the shotgun, but things like the pulse rifle and the smart gun is if you can see it, you can shoot it. So really, it's more keeping things out of the way so you can actually make that shot. So that is nice if so you don't have to think about like range penalties or anything like that. But Apone is going to let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move him up the corridor to there. I'm not getting any motion tracker stuff. I actually want to move him all the way up to that spawn point. Now that I've done that, that's his turn. End of activation abilities, he doesn't have any. Now he can activate 2 grunts that haven't activated. So he's going to go ahead and activate Vasquez and Drake. We'll start with Vasquez. Alright, so Vasquez has a speed of 4. Alright, Drake is back here. She's up here. She's gonna... I'm gonna go ahead and put her there so she can sort of look down that row. Yes, that opens up line of sight to there. That's all of her actions. I'll move over to Drake now. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Drake's tech is only a 2. He's pretty pointless up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stand him there. Now, he has another action that I can use. So normally what I would do is use the aim action and increase his aim dial from a 5 to a 6. Which, I mean, I guess I'll do. It doesn't really matter. But since there's no motion tracker cards that are going to get played this turn, there's not a chance something's going to spawn there. And at the start of the next Marine phase, it's going to reset. But that is something you can think about if you need to do an action as far as like, oh, I don't want to move this guy. Take the aim action to increase the chances that they hit whatever they need to shoot at until the start of their next turn. I think that's incredibly helpful. All right, that is everybody. That's all of the Marines and the grunts have gone now. So we move over to the alien phase where we activate any aliens on the board. We have an alien on the board. So aliens automatically move up to 6 spaces. They're quick buggers. So this thing runs up. Now when it runs up on Ripley, once it enters the space next to Ripley gets a defensive fire action, basically. She gets to shoot at this thing. Standard action, no special abilities, anything like that. Her aim is a 5, so she's going to shoot at this alien as it comes close to her. Now, if Hicks had a line of sight on this thing, he could also do this. He could also shoot at it when it gets up close to a character, but he doesn't have a line of sight. So we're going to roll this die, and I rolled a 7, so that is a failure. So that means that alien comes up and is going to attack. So the alien attacks. We roll a d10 against Ripley's defense, which is a 5. If you roll a 10 on your defense, you die. If you roll above your defense, you get knocked down. If you roll below your defense, you're fine. So I rolled a 5. Her defense is a 5, so she successfully defends. Now, if I rolled when I defended, you roll under what your melee score is, that means you also kill the thing when you're defending it. Her melee is a 1, so if I rolled a 1, she would have killed the thing when it came after her. So she's struggling and fighting. She's struggling and fighting this alien right now. Now we move to activate blips. Those blips. When you're activating blips, you choose a board to activate the blips on, and you activate those blips. These mission blips don't activate, they don't move, they don't do anything. It's just the regular blips over there. So obviously it's just that board that I'm activating. Now if those blips for some reason were to move to another board, their movement would stop. Because you're only able to activate one board at a time. Choose a board and roll the alien die. The result is the speed of the blips on that board. Alright, so I'm going to pick that board. And they get a 6, of course. Alright, so these things are going to barrel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to go there. Blips can't move through other blips. Can't move over them, can't move any of that stuff. So as you'll see here, they're going to go towards the nearest Marine, which is going to be Hudson right now. But with this door barricaded, what's going to end up happening is one alien's going to get up there and basically clog the way, and the other alien can't get past him to try to block the barricade. Only one alien's going to get there to move. Now, you could it depends on what kind of how you want to play it, how you want to be that alien player. You can actually play this game with someone else controlling the aliens and everyone else controlling the Marines. So you can have a one versus all type of thing, sort of Hero Quest style, or Betrayal at House on the Hill, that sort of thing. Or Last Night on Earth, one of my personal favorites. It sort of depends on how you want to play them, if they're how smart they want to be. I would say that the aliens are probably smart enough. It moves over and will move one over, still be adjacent to the door, so it can let 2 people in against a two person door, because these are 2-person doors, two square doors, 2 square wide. So that's that. Now what we'd normally do at the end of the alien phase would be to draw motion tracker cards, but we don't do that during turn 1 or turn 2. So we go to the finish phase. Resolve any finish phase effects. We don't have any. Nope. And nope. No finish phase things are going on right now. Check for victory or defeat. We're fine. And we clean up. Meaning during this turn, you turn the turn dial to the next number, start the next turn, any of that stuff. So we're going to turn 2 now. So we want to reset all aim dials. So Apon's or Vasquez's or Drake's aim goes back down to a 5 at this point. So you see, if an alien had popped out or Drake had been able to see him, he would have been sitting there with an aim value of 6 instead of 5, because I used that aim. I didn't want to move him twice. I just wanted to move him once and use that other action just to aim. So that's something to think about. I'm going to go ahead and start with Corporal Hicks. Your movement stops when you enter a space next to an alien. So if you start next to an alien, you can actually move away from it. That's obviously going to take a move action. So I can move Ripley out of the way, and then we can hose on this thing pretty righteously. I think that's probably a good idea. Now, what I could try to do first is shoot with Ripley and then move her, or move and then shoot her. Shoot with her, not shoot her. We don't want to shoot Ripley. We love Ripley. Her aim is a 5. She does have a shotgun, which I did forget about that. She would have had a -1 to her defense rolls, but because of the shotgun, she rolled a 7, I think, last time, so she still would not have defended, or she still would not have. She succeeded at her defense anyway, so it doesn't matter. Exhaust 1 card when you take attack action with this weapon. So I could attack, and I could attack with this. This weapon may only target a model that is within 3 spaces of this character. This weapon always hits on a 5 or less. So that's her standard aim anyway. So I'm not going to really worry about using that. don't know why her aim dial was set to a 7. Okay, I'm going to... I think shooting and then moving is probably best right now. So I'm going to try to take shot. I got a 2. So that shoots and kills that alien. Plah! Dead alien. So, there's that. She shot. I don't want to take her next move as far as moving her over to there. I'm going to go ahead and move her down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. You know what? I completely did this wrong. I activated her instead of activating Hicks. Hicks has to do his stuff first. So Hicks is going to... Well, Hicks will go ahead and move over, open this door, and we get a blip with 0. False alarm there, but still not Newt. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That opens this door. And look, it's Newt. Alright, so Newt appears. Now, we've got to go to the missions. Newt is hidden amongst the 4 blip mission blips. When you flip a blip to reveal Newt, place Newt miniature there. She is now a character in the game. Until she calms down, she activates after all characters have activated each turn. Each turn she takes 2 move actions, taking a path that will end her movement as far away as possible from any Marine, but not Ripley. Okay, so that is the end of his activation. So he's still activated. He's not activated. He's not end of activation until he passes the activation token. That's when she'll run. So he has his rank to activate grunts. So Marine hero characters activate Marine grunts. The number you can activate is your hero's rank. Activate 1 Marine grunt. Activate up to 2 Marine grunts. Okay. That's when he'll activate her. She shoots, kills that thing. That's her 1. She moves 1, 2, 3, 4. Trying to get her down here to Newt as quickly as we can. She's going to try to bolt. That's Ripley. I'm going to activate... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and activate Drake. Move him up here. I'm going to discard this Arc Welder. Discard that card to automatically put up to barricade something. So I'm actually going to go ahead and barricade this spawn point because I don't want things spawning out of that quite yet. So that's his turn. We are now past the activation token. That is when she activates and she moves. She takes 2 move actions and her speed is a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, now she's going to start there. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This pops and spawns 2 aliens. So we grab an alien and a spawn token. These are spawn tokens, so you put that underneath him. There. Move that over there. Move that over there. So that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now she's not going to go moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think she'd turn and run after getting an alien in there. So Now we go. Now it goes over. He passes the next hero, which is Apone. Apone has a tech of 5. He's going to try to barricade that spawn point, which means I need to roll a 5 or less on this die. I'm not confident in my abilities. That is an 8. I'm going to try it again. So his second action. That is a 4. So he does barricade that. So I don't want aliens popping up out of this thing, if at all possible. Alright, so that's his 2. He has no end. Obviously, I could have used his on-activation thing, but I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that right now. He'll use his rank of 2 to activate the other grunts, which is going to be Vasquez and Hudson. Good to remember, grunts don't draw cards, they recycle. They recycle recycle cards. When you recycle cards, you take a card from the discard pile and you put it at the bottom of the you put that at the bottom of the whenever a card or action lets you recycle a card, move the top card from the exhaust pile to the bottom of the endurance deck. Some game effects let you recycle cards from your hand. To do this, place your cards from your hand. So we have nothing in the exhaust pile right now, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. She's just going to go ahead. I mean, there's no point. She'll take the aim action twice, so she is sitting there with an 8, just waiting. Hudson. I don't want to move Hudson because Hudson's going to draw those blips to the barricaded door here. I'm actually going to move him back 2 and then have him aim. So his aim goes up to a 7 this turn. That's everybody's action. We now go to end of phase. Oh, I forgot to have her move. His characters include the grunts. I think so. So 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. She's unfortunately gonna run all the way up here. Dang it, that's not great. That makes bad things happen. She actually gets to move again, because that's where she would be after Apone's turn. I'm going to reset where they were, because now, obviously, things are different. So, Apone's turn, there's Newt. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. He'll take cover there. So that's what he does. I can activate Vasquez. Oh no, she moves again. Oh, this sucks. Because she's going to run up, open that door, and then... Oh, bad. So 1, 2... Oh, that's a stack of 3 aliens. Let's get spawn, 2 tokens and an alien here. Now, I believe the door post blocks the line of sight to the other blip. And that, where did I put that blip? Oh no. Here's that blip. It actually goes back into the pool here. Her movement ends because she's in a space next to an alien, but she has another action, so she can move again. This blocks its line of sight, so she goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really, 1, 2, 3, 5, because she won't move towards Marines. All right, Vasquez is going to hightail it. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 1, 2. For 5. Keep her sort of equidistant away from things. She didn't have to stop there, so I think that's a good place for her to go. Great, awesome, that's fabulous. Crap. All right. Now, that's after all the grunts have moved, so now we go to the alien phase. Activate aliens. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ripley gets her defensive action. She has a -1 to her defense roll. So, effectively, if I roll a 6 or less, she hits the thing. This is a 2, so she shoots 1. She gets another 1 against the other alien, and this time gets a 7, -1 is a 6. Still, that doesn't do it, so that alien gets to try to eat her. Alien will going after her defensive of 5. I got a 9. That's not a very good die. I can't wait to paint these so I can actually read them easier. Not a 10, but that does knock her down. So we're going to move the alien back 1 and knock her down. Takes an action for you to stand up. So, there's that. But also, if you get attacked and lose your defense when you're knocked down, you die. Not good. All right, so Ripley is knocked down. Other aliens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not considered. Next to, because of the wall there, the hard corner, shields him, so it's really actually good that I put him there. But that's their move. I'll choose this one to activate the blip on it. That's a 2. 1, 2. So that barricade is nigh useless now, unfortunately, because I had to chase after Newt. Still not in line of sight, so that blip doesn't flip. Draw motion tracker cards. We're on turn 2, so we still don't do that based on the mission. Any finish phase effects, victory, defeat, clean up. So, clean up, boom. Back. Down to turn 3. Now is when stuff can really start hitting the fan. I think I'm going to go ahead and activate. I need to kill that alien badly. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'll activate Hicks first to move him 1, 2, 3, 4. And then shoot. I'm going to grab a different die that I can read. Hicks's aim is a 7. I don't think I need to do the full auto on it. I say that now, but I get a 6. So, shoots that alien. That's his action. Now she moves. 2, 3, 5. Okay. Forgot he gets to activate 2 grunts, so he'll activate Ripley. She uses an action to stand up, and then move 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to calm her down, I have to roll a 4 or less on a Marine die. Within 2 spaces of her, I think it is. Within 2 spaces and line of sight. That's not great. Okay. You know, I'm going to leave her down here. I'm going to activate Drake. He'll move up and try to calm her down. Come on, 4 or less. 4 or less. 5. Dang it. Okay, he rolled a 5, so he does not calm her down. Drake is all about yelling at her and waving a gun at her, telling she needs to calm down because she's stupid. I'm gonna activate. I can do this. I'm going to activate Hudson. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to try to calm her down. And he rolls a 3. So he calms her down. All right. Once she is calmed down, I turn her, because Ripley's a grunt, turn her to her grunt side. And now she is part of the party. Yay. That is the rest of his activations. I'll pass this over to Sergeant Apone. She doesn't run off anymore. That's great. Hudson had no actions left. Drake had no actions left. So Apone's turn it is. Apone's like, all right, everyone, haul ass. Haul ass quickly. Motion trackers happen this turn, so this could be very, very bad. We need to hose the crap out of that thing. Vasquez still has actions, but she's blocked line of sight to the alien. Part of me wants to move Apone up and have him try to barricade that other door. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. So I use his move action. I'm actually going to move him over here and have him try to barricade 5 or less, 5 or less, 5 or less, 5 or less. Ooh, that's a 7. So he does not barricade the door. Okay, so now end of activation stuff. Now grunts. He's going to move her over. What does Vasquez have? I'm going to go ahead and let Vasquez open up on the 3 aliens with her M56 smart gun. So normally you exhaust 3 cards when you activate that card, but her passive ability, even as a grunt, is it only costs 2 cards. So I'm going to take the top 2, not look at them, put them here in the exhaust pile, and when you fire this weapon, you roll 2 dice instead of 1 and discard the highest result. And it does have full auto, so I can continue to exhaust cards to continue shooting. That is a 7, which is a fail, and a 1, which is a colossally great hit. So that obliterates one of them. So I'm going to go take one of the tokens out from under him, put it back in the box. Now I'm going to go ahead and use full auto. I'm going to go ahead and use full auto again. So I can exhaust another card and continue full autoing. Roll 2 dice. I get a 1 and a 2. So that's another dead alien. She goes up, let's rock! I'm going to go ahead and exhaust another card. Probably pushing it here. That is a 3 and a 2. Rock on. Boom. So she blowed the crap out of it. She just absolutely destroys that line, that group of aliens, that swarm of aliens. So that's luck right there. That's very, very good. Very, very, very good. That is the rest of her turn. Now Apone can go ahead and activate Ripley, so she'll get up and then move her 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, leaving Hicks back here behind the spawn point. So let's see if aliens spawn out of spawn point 3 this time. This turn, we'll see. So activate any remaining grunts, which would be Newt. Newt has a speed of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, she's going to be running for that exit. That is their turn. Now we are to activate aliens. No aliens on the board. Activate blips. There is a blip on the board. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the closest Marine, the closest character is Newt. So this blip is going to go towards her. It goes 2 spaces, so it's going to go 2 spaces towards her, and that's where it ends up. That could have been way worse. And now we are to the draw motion tracker cards. Now I have 2 heroes that I'm playing with, so it's technically a 2-player game. So I get to draw 3 motion tracker cards. Now I like to go ahead and draw all 3, but I'm going to take this top card, put it and reverse the order here. So I'm putting the 3rd card on top, the 2nd card in the middle, the 1st card on the bottom, so I can just turn the whole thing over and see what it does. Oh, crap. I was hoping not to see this one. Is this a... man, this is a brutal card. For a level 2 card, this is brutal. They're inside the perimeter. Place a tunnel token in a square that is within line of sight and next to this character. Now, that means you choose... I don't remember if it's you choose whichever one has the highest rank, which is going to be Apone, of course. So I get to get a tunnel token and put it next to him. We're going to put it right in the middle. And reveal a card. Now, when you reveal a card, you just look to see what kind of a card it is. This is an event card. Place 1 blip on the tunnel token. Okay, and then that goes to the bottom. That goes underneath the reshuffle. Okay, so we get a blip token. Now, the blip appears and then automatically flips because it's in line of sight, and it's a 2. So, I'm going to spawn a swarm of 2 aliens right in the middle of the place where we need to run past to get out, of course. That's very bad. Nice thing though is that they just pop up. They don't do anything. Now, as I understand it, if they appear in a space next to a character, that character gets defensive fire. So Apone gets his standard attack of 6. He gets a 9, so he fails. I think it's one for each, and that's a 6. I think it's just a 1 attack, honestly. So we'll leave it at that. I need to check on that, but yeah. And then this goes to the motion discard pile. So the next card that we had is Alien Assault, which we have a blip at point at the 4th, which is right there. A blip at the 4th spawning point, which again, he's standing next to the door, so he has line of sight to it. So I'm just gonna grab a blip, and it is a 1. So 1 alien pops out of there. If this spawn point already has a blip or alien model, move this blip 4 spaces towards the nearest character. Didn't, so we ignore that. And Intelligent Foe, 2 blips at spawn point 2, which is over here, I believe, but that is a barricaded one. So I get to roll the d6. If I get a 5 or a 6, the barricade goes down. I got a 2, so the barricade stays put. Those blips do not come out. So, if there is 1 or more hazard cards in the discard pile, which there is not, randomly select a hazard card to shuffle back into the exhaust pile, which is not. So that was Intelligent Foe. Those were our motion tracker cards. That could have been worse, but I don't want to get complacent. I want to try to get these guys out of here as quickly as possible. Resolve any finished phase effects, check for victory or defeat, and clean up. So we go now to turn 4. I'm going to go ahead and start things out with Apone. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and start with Apone. Because Apone has the M240 flamethrower. Exhaust 2 cards to make an attack with this weapon, which I will go ahead and do. I'm going to exhaust those 2 cards. Choose a space that is 2 spaces away. So I'm going to choose this space right here, which is the space right behind the alien. Roll for each model and token in that space and within 1 space of it. This weapon always hits on a roll of 7 or less. So essentially, the only things in it are those 2 aliens, so I'm just going to roll these 2d10 to see if we get any of them. I got a 10, so that doesn't do anything, and a 9. So wasted the flamethrower. Although that's his one action, he gets to do it again, so I'm just going to do it again. Well, 2 different dice now. Jerks. Watch me fail this. That's a 6, and that is an 8. So, kill one of them. Better than nothing. Okay, I do need to exhaust 2 cards to do that. Okay, because I had to spend 2 cards to use the flamethrower for a second time, and that's fine, no problem. I forgot to use his helmet to see if he could pass that defense card, pass that defense, but it's all good. I guess I could. It's no harm, no foul. I don't think at this point. I'll go ahead and. He failed his defense roll earlier, so I get to draw one of these. If it is an equipment card, it counts as passing the defense roll. If it is a weapon card, I exhaust it. This is an event card, so it's nothing. And reveal a card. When you reveal a card, it goes to the bottom of the deck. Not on the reshuffle side. It just goes to the bottom of the deck, if I remember correctly. Okay, so that's that. He did his 2 actions. End of stuff. End of action. End of activation. And now we go to use rank to activate grunts. I can't just have Newt charge on through. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Vasquez again. And Vasquez is going to... See, now I'm exhausting a lot of cards at a time. I'll exhaust 2 cards because I want to use that smart gun to shoot at that alien. And I get a 4 and a 4, which both hit. 1 hit, well, both the same, but they hit. Kill that thing. And now 1, 2, 3, 4. Her speed is a 4, so that's her turn. Now I'm going to activate Newt and get her 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. She is to safety. I'm going to put that card up there. So Newt is escaped, but I still need to get at least 2 people out to succeed at the mission, but I want to try to get as many people as possible out. Now he passes the activation token. He'll go over to Corporal Hicks. Hicks is going to make a run for it. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what he does. Nope, don't have any of that. Could have used that, but I didn't. Okay, so he activates 2 others. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put on that side. She shoots better than he does if those things come through that barricade. I have no one else to activate except for Hudson, I believe. Hudson's got nothing to shoot at. His speed is also a 4, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is, thus far, knock on wood, going better than yesterday did. Yesterday, I just started, it started to get real bad. The next motion tracker card is a level 1, so good. I have to remember I have this Hadley's Hope map here that I can exhaust at any time to shuffle the motion tracker card you just drew into the motion tracker deck. So I could have used that, but I'm not gonna. I wouldn't. I don't. I think it worked out, so I'm not gonna worry about it. That's everybody. So we go to activate aliens. There is an alien out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enters that space. Apone gets a defensive roll. His aim is a 6. I get a 4. Blap. All right, so he kills the alien as it comes running up. Now blips. That's the blip. The only blip left on the board is over there. So I activate that board, and it goes 6. So it's going to go thump all the way up to there to try to get through the barricade. I need a 5 or a 6 on this die. I get a 5. So he busts down that barricade and flips, and it's a 1. I'm gotten lucky draws right now. So breaking the barricade stops its movement. So it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has one more. Now, obviously starting with Vasquez, she gets a standard attack, aim 6. She gets a 6, so she kills it. Now, I think it's defensive fire also with anyone within, I think it was 2 spaces or 4 spaces. I think it's 4 spaces. Within 4 spaces. So he wouldn't have been able to shoot because his line of sight is blocked, but Ripley would have been able to shoot at it, as would a Hudson. And Apone's line of sight is blocked by Hudson, so there have been 2 more people shooting at it that turn too. So that best case scenario there is it got killed. That barricade's down now. That sucks, but it is what it is. So now we draw motion tracker cards. So I draw the top 3 cards. Refigure them. First one is false alarm. Recycle 1 card. So I get to take a card from here and put it under the reshuffle. There. Next card is Relentless Foe. 2 blips at spawn point 1, which is over here, which is barricaded. So if they get to 5 or 6, they break through. That's a 2, so they do not. And exhaust 6 cards. Ooh. That 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That sucks. That hurts. And then the last one is another false alarm, where I recycle 1 card. So, okay, I'll take it. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good turnout that turn. Resolve any finish phase. Victory defeat. I've got Newt out the door, but we are turn 5 now. I'm going to start with Hicks. Hicks goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just booking it. He's going to activate Ripley. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He will then activate, who is this? That's Hudson. Okay, he will go ahead and activate Drake. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Drake has escaped. Drake is out. Drake has survived. Drake has exited the building. End of activation abilities. Actually, I would have gone ahead and used, just because I can, I would have used his. So he finds a pistol, which he'll just hold on to. Okay, so that's his 2 grunts. Passes the activation token over to Apone. Draw an endurance card. Each Marine character may recycle a card from their hand. Okay, so I'll draw an endurance card. He gets an event. Just deal with it. Discard a card from the top of the endurance deck to shuffle a hazard card on a character into the exhaust pile. Hold on to that. And Corporal Hicks will recycle a card because he had one in his hand, had that pistol he had, so we'll go ahead and get that put back for whatever it's worth. Apone's going to take the aim action once, and then the rest action once, which means he can draw a card or recycle cards. I'm going to go ahead and recycle 3 cards back into there, because I want to do that. That's pretty awful. Then he activates his 2 grunts. He's going to activate Hudson and Vasquez. Hudson, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gets out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Vasquez gets out. So this is where it can get kind of iffy. She's out, and Hudson's out. All right. Ripley. Nope. Ripley went. So I have no more grunts left to do anything. So we go to the aliens phase. There are no active aliens right now. There are no blips, so we just go straight to the spawning. So this could be good or bad. All right, so the first one is Alien Vanguard. Once a blip spawns at second spawn point, which is barricaded. If I get a 5 or a 6, that's a 1. Haha. Reveal a card. It's an event, so nothing happens. There. Alien Assault, one blip at spawn point 1. That's a 3, so that doesn't happen. No effect. And Alien Scout at spawn point 4, so that is fine. And the door's open, so it's line of sight, and we get a 1 there. That could have been way worse. Boom, alien. Exhaust 1 card for each character within line of sight of this blip when it spawns. So that's 2 cards, two characters in line of sight there. That is irritating. Okay, that is that. We have won because we got the mission is a success, meaning we got at least 2 people out, but I still need to get everyone else out. Let's go ahead and clean up. We are into turn 6. This is running a bit more smoothly now that I sort of have a better idea of how it runs. This has gone way better than the last turn. Now I've said that, I'm totally going to get screwed. All right, so Hicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hicks. Oh, why did it? No, he holds on to that. he holds on to that. It's an event card he has in his hand that just isn't useful right now. He'll activate Grunt and get Ripley out of there. So Ripley has survived. So we've just got Apone and Hicks. I guess she could have just taken a standard aim 5 attack at that alien, so she would have done that. That's 9, so she would have missed and then ran anyway. But now it's Apone's turn. Apone, his thing reset back down to 6. He'll shoot at that alien with his aim of 6 and get a 1, so he kills the crap out of it. And then he will 2, 3, 4. So he will escape. All right. No grunts left, no aliens, no blips, motion tracker cards. This could be where Hicks gets screwed. Okay. They're inside the perimeter. Place a tunnel token in a square that is within line of sight and next to this character. Okay. Reveal a card. This card is a weapon card. Place 2 blips on every tunnel token. Two blips on every tunnel. There are 2 tunnels right there. 2, 1, 2. All right, so this tunnel right there spawns 1 alien. Next one spawns 3 aliens right next to him. Then the tunnel that Apone found last time spawns 2 aliens on top of that. I like to put them on top of it, and then you start going to the next ones around, so whichever ones make life worst. And then a 1, so 1 more alien. So Hicks has a swarm, has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 aliens or something behind him now, like right on his heels. Wow. And that was just the first. That was the first card. So now that goes to discard. So what's the second card? Is a blip at spawn point 1. It's barricaded. A 2, so it is not. Nothing spawns there. Exhaust 1 card for each character within line of sight of this blip when it spawns. It didn't spawn, so it doesn't happen. And then hidden attack. 2 spawn at the second point, which is the one right next to Hicks, but it's barricaded. And I get a 2, so they don't spawn. Thank goodness. That could really have been very bad. So if this card's blips are placed on a spawn point in line of sight of a character, discard 4 cards. They're not placed because the barricade held. Okay. Resolve any finish game effects. Check for victory or defeat. Clean up. We're now technically into turn 7. Reset aim dials on activation abilities, and he performs 2 actions. He can move away from him, so he's gonna book it. So he gets away. That was lucky. So I managed to get everybody out at the this time and not get horribly mulched by aliens. So that was a lot of fun. I'll probably take this into mission 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to deal with the campaign aspect of it, of like tracking characters and their equipment and stuff like that, because there are rules for that. Of you can do stuff. I think I'm just going to move on to the next mission and do that. Now with the expansions that they have, there's 3 expansions for this game. There's the Ultimate Badasses expansion, which adds more Marines. That's pretty much all it does. There's Get Away From Her, You Bitch, which adds the power loader and the Queen Alien and makes things a lot tougher for everyone involved. Adds this hive mind aspect of things. All this adds more to the game. And then there is In the Pipe 5x5, which adds the APC and adds the 2 more Marines, the other 2 Marines. And all of them add a little bit here and there as far as missions. Now, generally in the base game, there are 3 missions, 3 main missions in the campaign, and then you're done. The expansions add to that. They take some of the basic game missions and they increase their difficulty. They change the maps around, add in the expanded game. This board ends up being over here, and then there's a board here that's got the drop ship on it. So you're all entering from over here, coming in, and the mission blips are spread out a bit more. So that would be interesting to try that one with the additional characters, with the additional stuff. I can have up to eight characters playing at that point, or 4 heroes and 4 grunts. So that could be kind of crazy. I like how you can play this solo. That's pretty cool. I do think that unlike last night, it didn't drag on like it did. I think that's pretty obvious there. I think I was doing everything right. I think it's if an alien. If you move into a space adjacent to an alien, your movement stops, but you can like leave. You can move away from aliens. So just really, it was luck of where I got Hicks there, so he could move and get the heck out. So just lucky there. That's pretty cool. The other expansions add some additional missions. There's like a mission between mission 2 and 3. The Get Away From Her, You Bitch one adds a mission 4 and a mission 5, I believe. And so they adds a little more dynamics. The game also has another mode of playing that's just called Bug Hunt. So it's just some general missions. There's like a resupply mission you can do. There's a rescue mission you can do. Or fans online have come up with skirmish rules, so you can actually have Marines fighting other Marines, Marines fighting aliens, an alien player, that sort of thing. I think there's a lot of fun in this. I think now that they've sort of ironed out all of the kind of tweaks there is. I love the IP. I love Aliens as far as, like I said at the beginning of all this, one of the greatest movies of all time. I think this is a fun game. I don't think you need any of the expansions to enjoy the game. You can just get the base game and get plenty out of it. But if you really love the Aliens universe and the movie, and you want to be able to use those characters and utilize those characters, then you're going to want to pick up those extras. It's still in print. But it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Definitely, if you get the if you get the game, check the copyright date on it. If it's 2020, you're going to want to go online and get the errata and get the updated rule set. If it's 2023, then you're going to be all set. I intend to kind of trick out this game a bit with some additional 3D prints, which I can definitely showcase and show off if I record another one of these playing this. I got other games over there that I can look into and play, and that is it for this. Thank you for joining me. Stay frosty, and check those corners.